What up everyone, it's your man XMan87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Series Wave 3 Spider-Man Beyond action figure review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Alright, we got Spider-Man Beyond here, and I really like the costume. At first when it was revealed, I wasn't so big on it, but then it grew on me. So I like the figure for the most part, and we'll take a look at the head first. And here is the head sculpt, and oh my god, hold on. That head is just way too damn big. Way too damn big. Let's back up here. Holy crap, that is just way too big of a head. It's like they took a freaking basketball and painted Spider-Man eyes on it. I know in the comics his costume has those really big eyes, but man, the head is proportionate. This is just anatomically incorrect. His head is way too big. You know there's something wrong here. And that's something the Legends line has to improve on. And I'll post an image so you can see him side by side next to his comic book counterpart. The eyes are still big, but the head is proportionate. So that's what they could have done with this figure. They could still maintain those nice big eyes, but keep the head proportionate. I like the eye shape though. I like the pearlescent paint they put around it, you know. This costume does have like the cobwebbing really close and tight together. So I do like that. Some inaccuracies with the costume. But this is right. The spider logo being off-centered is correct. I don't like what they did here though with the top spider leg. If you move the shoulder joint back, oh man, I do not like that. This spider leg should not go downwards on the chest. They should have just kept it upright and you know, line the spider leg on the shoulder joint with what's on the torso. That way it doesn't look like one leg has, like, I don't know, it looks like that one leg is growing another foot or something. It just doesn't look right. And the arms are pretty good. You know, he's got that space right there. I do feel like it should be a little more triangular going downwards, but probably hard to execute in that area. And wow, would you look at this? They painted the cobwebbing on the pinless elbow right there. Why couldn't they do that here with Spider-Man 2 PS5 Advanced Suit 2.0? At least there's more things right about this figure than this one. You know, they should have put more effort towards this Spider-Man, because this is the one that sold 33 million units for their game. And that's something that this Spider-Man won't do. Just saying, this is the moneymaker right here. And you're probably going to say, oh, get over it, Manny. No, not until they correct it. I'm still bitter about it. I can see how the cobwebbing pattern is more closed in and tighter together at the top. Then it kind of just spaces out a little more towards the bottom. Even with the sleeves is a little more spaced out at the top, and then it closes in together more on his forearms. But that's not enough to bother me. I think it still looks good. Here's the back logo, and that also looks good when you move the shoulders forward. You can see the legs kind of, yeah, they kind of line up. It goes more in like a zigzag. I still think that's fine. Man, that neck gap still needs fixing. Jesus, that head is just so big, I can't get over it. That lollipop cranium is definitely going to make him stand out on this shelf. I like how the pattern on the back right here ends in like a downward triangle. That's really nice. The one big comic inaccuracy I noticed, and you know I'm all about comic accuracy, is that he's supposed to have these black rectangular patches on top of his hands, as well as having this downward triangle on top of his boot. So they could have easily painted that starting at the top of the calf swivel. So I did a little something here, and I'm not the best Photoshopper at all. I'm just trying to give you a visual idea how it would have looked right if the paint was accurate to the comic. So you can see the web patches on the top of his hands and the triangular shape on his boots. Again, excuse the lack of Photoshop skill. I wanted to plant that visual image in your head, and it just goes to show you how far a little bit of paint can go. And there's really not much head swaps you can do, because there's not a lot of Legend Spider-Man figures that have eyes nowhere near as big as this, and I only do head swaps if they make sense. So, I mean, I did try just a little bit. Let me take Renew Your Vows, for instance, but that paint is not going to match up. So that's gonna be it's not gonna look that bad, actually. What am I talking about? You can still see it to be a little off-tone. The problem is the cobwebbing is too spaced out where it should be tighter. Let me try the Spider-Man 2 PS5 Advanced suit. It's a little bit brighter than the Renew Your Vows, but the cobwebbing is much closer and not as spaced out. And I took the Retro Sensational Spider-Man Ben Reilly head and put it on this one, and the red tones match, the cobwebbing pattern matches. The only thing is that the eyes are not big enough. None of these eyes come nowhere near as close as this one, but I think your best head option would be the Renew Your Vows as far as the eyes go. I still think the Advanced 2.0 is a better option than the Renew Your Vows, but the best one of all, if you don't care about the eyes, you know, the red tone and the cobwebbing pattern matches up with this Retro Sensational Ben Reilly. My god, this is King Cranium right here. Look at this head next to all these other Spider-Man heads. Holy crap, who worked on this head? Was it Dwight Stahl? Jesus. I like the guy, but damn. He's cool and all, but man's got to work on his anatomy. The most important head swap, though, is taking the Ben Reilly head from the Retro Scarlet Spider figure and putting it onto this body, and it looks absolutely wonderful. Now, for accessories, besides his fist, he only comes with one crawling hand for his right arm and one flipping hand for his left arm. No matching sets. Same shit they did with the Spider-Man 2 PS5 Advanced Suit 2.0, and they also applied the same thing where they didn't even continue finishing the cobwebbing pattern inside the palm of his hand. If you want a matching set of hands, just put the Renew Your Vow hands on them. So no matching set of hands because they're using that excuse of his cobwebbing deco being too expensive for budget. Like, really? You're gonna be cheap with Spider-Man? The face of the Marvel franchise? That doesn't make sense. Don't be cheap on Spider-Man. Spider-Man will always sell. Maybe that's the problem. Also, I wish he had web-holding hands like this Superior Spider-Man. And yes, no, this costume is not Superior Spider-Man. I've seen some people say, they got the costume wrong of Superior Spider-Man. I'm like, no, this is Spider-Man Beyond. Different character, different story. Just different altogether. But yeah, they do need to update this one though. So I'm not going to go over articulation. It's the Renew Your Vows body. You know what to expect with this, you know, the toe joints and all. However, they made some key improvements that I have to point out. The big difference is the range within the butterfly joints. You can move this arm all the way back. Look how deep that goes. If I do it with the Renew Your Vows and I move that all the way back, there was this hindrance here. And I don't want to force it all the way because I did that on my other one and it broke. So this is my extra. Big difference you can see is that the butterfly joint, you can see the shoulder joint is still visible right there. You see that? Right there. Now look at this figure. That shoulder joint completely disappeared. So you get way more range with Spider-Man Beyond than with the Renew Your Vows. So that's big improvement right there. Yeah, look at that range. It brings it more back. That's a big difference. So either they minimized the shoulder joint or they expanded the torso inside. One of the two. And remember in my Advanced Suit 2.0 review where I said the pivot on his upper torso should meet the hinge right there starting at the inverted ab crunch. But it doesn't. As you can see, there's a space there. Well, guess what they did here? They actually improved the pivot. So at least this one meets closer to the hinge than this one does. And one more thing, the elbow range is the same. But why the hell did they do this? Why would they put red on the side where it's supposed to be all black? Advanced Suit 2.0 doesn't have it. The classic suit doesn't have it. One of the key points for them going pinless was to get the correct inner and outer patterns for Spider-Man. So this defeats one of the purpose of their goals. It's stupid. So that's what I wanted to share, and they are definitely not batting 1,000 with their Spider-Man figures. I mean, we've gotten some pretty bad Spider-Man figures with that Future Foundation one, the Iron Spider one. I don't care what anyone says. The mismatched plastic color tones just freaking kills it for me. And then, you know, obviously they messed up one of my most beloved costumes, the Advanced Suit 2.0. And there are some other bad ones too coming out, like the 6-armed Spider-Man, that 10-year anniversary Miles Morales with that weird sweatshirt or hoodie. But there are some good ones like the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. But yeah, there's just been some odd choices with their Spider-Man figures lately. Not much for comparisons, don't want to take up too much time, but here is Spider-Man Beyond next to the only other Spider-Man sharing this same exact body. Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, and Spider-Man Advanced Suit 2.0. Here is Ben Reilly Spider-Man Beyond next to some heroic Ben Reillys, the Sensational Spider-Man and Scarlet Spider. Lastly, here is Ben Reilly Spider-Man Beyond next to some evil versions of Ben Reilly, Spider Carnage and Chasm. We really need a new Spider Carnage with the tendrils keyed into the sculpt like they did with that Carnage figure from the Venom Pool wave. Also, let me know if you want me to do a quick review of Chasm. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 7.5 out of 10. For something that I wasn't really excited about the first time, I sure ended up liking this figure a lot. Sometimes things just grow on you when you don't expect it. My biggest issue is the grossly oversized head, as if Orb's head was underneath that Spidey mask, but everything else is pretty solid. I love the design of the Beyond costume, and it came out nice here, just with a few flaws. Like I mentioned about the gloves and the boots, it's recognizable, but not a complete departure, as most of the costume design is intact. But still would have made the figure look better if it was there. The paint apps applied onto the figure are great, from the eyes, the cobwebbing, and logos, but some paint choices didn't make sense, like the leg on the spider logo of the torso going downward, not accentuating the leg painted on the shoulder joint. Then the bizarre red exposed all over the elbow joints, making it less appealing when posing. The improved articulation does help and brings me a sense of confidence that they'll continue to tweak these newer existing bodies, expanding motion for more range. Cutting back accessories on Spider-Man is never a good thing. 3 sets of hands should always be the bare minimum, and that's what sets this back from being better. You'll have to dig into your accessory vault and pull out those Renew Your Vow hands to have matching sets of crawling and thwipping hands. So you'll have to rely on other accessories from different figures, which most Legends collectors do. That's not an excuse, that's the sad truth, as it's unjustifiable for a Spider-Man figure to not come with these 3 sets of hands, and at this price point, it's just not acceptable. It should be standard. Other than that, it's a very nice costume, and I hope it's a playable suit in the new Spider-Man 2 PS5 game. I like it that much now. I still think this is a good Spider-Man figure, and I enjoyed this figure, which is what I care about most. He will surely look dapper alongside the rest of his spider-suited friends in my Spider-Man display. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this Spider-Man Beyond figure? Any Ben Reilly iterations you'd like to see next in Marvel Legends? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.